Welcome to Steps to Maths, and in this question we're asked to add a VAT to an item. Now you already know from primary school that if you're asked to add VAT at 12.5% to €40, you can go 12.5% of €40, which you already know is going to be 12.5 as a fraction over 100 multiplied, because of is multiplied, by 40 over 1. And you solve that and you get your answer, whatever that is, 48.50 over 10. It's going to be €5. Okay? Or you could know that 12.5% is the same as 1/8. You're supposed to know that by heart. Maybe you could know that by heart. Okay, so that's the primary school method. You find the €5 and then you add your €40 plus your €5 and you get €45, and that is your answer. So that's fine. That's a perfect way to do it. But I want to look at a slightly different way of doing this for some reason. So we're going to look at what the last section was. I'm going to tell you that 100% of a number is €40, meaning the number is €40. And I'm going to ask, what is 112% of a number? So you already know from the last section exactly how to do a question like this, 112.5% actually. So what you do is the unitary method. You have 100% is €40. 112%, of course, is the 100%, the original number, plus 12.5%. Gives you 112.5%. So let's look again. 100% is €40. That's what we start with. 1% is €40 over 100. 112.5% is, whatever this is, 40 over 100 multiplied by 112.5. You just stick that into your calculator, and of course your answer will be €45, the final answer that you expected to get when you added a 12.5% on. So this seems like an unusual way to do something. It's an extra bit of work. You might like the primary method that you've done already. You find 12.5% the usual way and you add it on. The second way of thinking about it is your original number is 100% and you add 12.5% to get 112.5%. The question then is, how do I get from 100% to 112.5%? And the answer is, as you've already practiced in the last section, you use the unitary method. You find 1% by dividing by 100. So to go from 100 down to 1, you made it 100 times smaller. To go from 1 to 112.5, you made it 112.5 times bigger. Multiplying by 112.5 makes something 112.5 times bigger. So you do the same thing on the right hand side here and you will get the answer that you were looking for. And there's a reason for that. The reason is, if we do this directly, it helps us to understand, if we're given the answer, how to find our way back to the start. So practice doing it this way. This is going to be the secondary school way of adding 12.5% VAT onto €40. Okay? So what do? You take your €40, you divide by 100 to find 1%, you multiply by 112.5 to find 112.5% of a number, and that is your answer. So give that a go, try it that way, try it both ways. Try it the primary way and get an answer, try it this way and see if you get the same answer. So practice those questions, see that you get the same answer, and in future lessons we're going to understand why we do it this way. Okay, best of luck.